Giving you a thumbs up. We're good to go.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We're glad that you're here with us for this informative presentation on caring for elders. This past year has taught us just how much the senior population of our society depends on caregivers, as well as the facilities and support structures provided in our communities. Often family members are a key component of this care network. It can be a challenging and even exhausting endeavor for those seeking to support and care for their loved ones. Having a knowledge of the available strategies and resources can help our seniors receive the best possible care, and at the same time, help the caregiver reduce stress and avoid burnout. I'm pleased to introduce our speaker today, Todd Benson. Todd has a degree in psychology from the University of Calgary and is a certified financial planner. He has been a financial advisor for more than a decade and is currently part of our team at VantageOne Financial. But Todd's qualifications to speak on this topic come more from his extensive experience in serving our aging population and his sincere concern for both our seniors and those who support them. I'm sure Todd's presentation will provide us with meaningful and useful information. There is at the bottom of your screen a question and answer button. So if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to click on that, enter your question and post it. And we'll get to as many of those questions at the end of the presentation as we're able. But either way, we will be in touch with you if you have a question. Todd, looking forward to your presentation today.
All right, thank you, Colin. You know, we've got a jam-packed presentation today. So as Colin said, put your questions into the Q&A. If we don't get to them, we will be in touch and to get all those answered. So moving right along, here we go. So growing older is a reality for everyone, but how well we do it is up to you. There's an abundance of support available to help us carve out the lifestyle that we want. We want to give you some information in this presentation to help you make thorough, thoughtful choices to give you the best life today and in the future for you and the elders in your care. So today we'll cover the key issues that need to be addressed when considering how we can care for an ailing parent. First, we'll talk about the need for care and support, the cost of care, whether in your parent's home, your home, or a retirement or nursing home. It can be expensive. Next, we'll look at the type of care available, how to pay for that care, and the tax issues that might be involved. We'll end off our discussion today with an overview of two very important documents, power of attorney and a will. So you are what you think you are, and that certainly is true when it comes to aging. Seniors who think of age as a means to wisdom and overall satisfaction are more than 40% more likely to recover from a disability than those who see aging as synonymous with helplessness and uselessness. Nutrition plays a major role in how your body ages. The latest research shows that a diet high in fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins is healthiest. Overeating may lead to a shorter lifespan with increased risk of cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. You probably know that you should snooze for 7 to 9 hours each night, according to the National Sleep Foundation. Plus, naps can improve your memory and help make up for missing nightly Z's. Staying fit also reduces age-related memory loss. Those of us with strong social ties are shown to have a 50% higher chance of living longer than those with poor relationships. Our elders need and expect our help as they grow older. They may be physically handicapped and need help getting around their homes and getting out. They may need help feeding themselves, or they may need assistance due to mental incapacity, such as Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's is important to mention because it is affecting more and more people and becoming a common reason for aging parents to need home or institutional care. So 1 in 7 people, according to the Canadian Alzheimer's Society, 1 in 7 people suffer from Alzheimer's, and that number could double within the next 25 years. Alzheimer's is a reality, and it alone makes today's discussion extremely important. So assuming your parent needs help with daily living, there are choices to be made based on their needs and what you can afford. And of course, on the availability of family members to provide home care. Depending on the circumstances, you, your family or friends may be able to provide some of the help, and this is an area where you should have an open and frank discussion with those involved to see if this is practical. Your parents' needs could be modest and might not put unreasonable demands upon anyone else's time. On the other hand, outside help may be necessary, and sometimes institutional care is the most suitable option, although it is expensive and very little is covered by government programs. Helping an alien parent remain at home, or taking them into your own home or that of another family member might be seen like the right thing to do and what you want to do. But deciding to do so is a huge decision, and you must carefully weigh the pros and cons and make sure everyone involved is on board. There are many things to consider. Family schedules and proximity may make providing meals and transportation impractical or impossible. Meals, can they still cook for themselves? And if not, who will do it? How about grocery shopping? Consider a program like Meals on Wheels in your community for a relatively modest cost, as of 2019, about $7. Most groceries and drugstores do offer delivery services. Transportation. What are their transportation needs? Who will get them to medical and therapy appointments? Do they need a cane, walker, or wheelchair? Does it fit in your vehicle to get them around? A signed order from a doctor will authorize a disabled parking sticker in your city. Many communities have organizations that provide transportation services for those with limited mobility, such as HandyDart through BC Transit. If your parent continues to live in their home, they may require help with cleaning, maintenance, and gardening. Arrange with family members to divvy up the responsibilities and arrange a schedule that suits everyone. Family members too far away to help may consider financial contributions to pay for some of the support services needed. Ongoing chores, including laundry and cleaning, as well as outdoor maintenance, in particular, snow removal, mowing the lawn, and gardening care of plants and shrubs. Local volunteer services may also be able to help. If you hire a contractor to take care of this, make sure to factor these expenses into your budget. Keep in mind, you want to see after their social well-being as well, and every visit is an opportunity to connect and stay vital. Maintaining relationships with neighbors and friends is a powerful tool to staying healthy. Having fun is a huge part of quality of life, and our emotional well-being is as well as our communication skills and mood. So let's talk about institutional care now. If your parents' health is such that they simply need frequent or constant care, and you and your family are unable to provide this, then you may have little choice but to consider retirement or nursing home. There are three types of institutional living: retirement or independent living, assisted living, and a skilled nursing facility or nursing home. The one you choose depends largely on the health of the elder. Check out the individual websites of the care facilities under consideration to get a feel for what they do and how they do it. This may also bring up independent comments and observations from others. It's always nice to look at the comments below a post on Facebook. The next step is to make a personal visit to the home, making that if it's made to your shortlist. You can make an appointment to have a tour and meet the management, or consider just dropping by unannounced. With a scheduled appointment, it is assumed that the facility staff will be putting on their best face or putting their best foot forward, and the impression given may not be indicative of the day-to-day situation. So before you visit a home, it is important to make a checklist of information you want to have in order to make the right choice. Our participants will receive, so on this webinar, our participants will receive an email that has a checklist of things to consider when checking out care facilities. Premises should be clean and bright, well maintained with a friendly atmosphere. You want to ask, are there safety features in place, such as safety bars, wheelchair access, and emergency calling? Check out the menus and taste the meals to be sure of the caliber of this service. Social activities play an important role in our physical and mental health. Make sure activities offered match your parents' abilities and preferences. Medical support can be critical, and you may want to check ahead of time to see that they are equipped to provide. It is important that services offered match those that are needed. So regardless of where your parents lives and the level of care needed, somebody has to pay for all of this. Of course, your parent or the family will have to pay all or even most of the shot, whether it is from savings, pensions, or insurable benefits. Let's look at the options. First option is self-funding. You may be in the fortunate position where your parent has ample savings and may even have anticipated this sort of situation, but you'll still need to help them estimate the expected costs and set up a plan to fund them. Of course, I can help you with this. Depending on their health, your parent may be able to make most of these decisions, but if they are uncomfortable with this or incapable to do so, you and or other family members may decide to take over the financial decision-making. In extreme cases, you may need to invoke their powers of attorney, which we will discuss in a few minutes. As part of this process, you may want to discuss financial and estate planning issues with me. For example, are there ways to preserve the estate while funding home or institutional care and other medical costs? Is it smart to review investments together and it is smart to review investments together and make a plan for the possibility that your parents will lose the ability or desire to manage their finances? If an ailing parent does not have the financial resources to support themselves, the family may have to lend a hand. While children want the best for their parents, financial sacrifices can create hardship and even conflict. And so some compromise may be necessary. It is very important that the family be in agreement on how to arrange the financial support. For example, there may be situations where one child might be in a better financial position than the other, than their siblings. In such a case, one child may pay for most of the bills while the other provides a more direct non-financial support. I can help set up a plan that works for everyone. Retirement savings and government pensions are an important source of funding. If your parent has been a contributor to the Canada Pension Plan during their working lives, they may be eligible for a CPP disability pension if they are under age 65. The maximum current CPP disability pension is approximately $1,387. And that's a stat that's current as of 2020. If your parent is a member of a company or employee pension plan has not yet started receiving benefits, most pension plans will provide an early pension if the member meets the plan's definition of disability. The pension sponsor should be approached to determine the specific benefits provided. Normal CPP retirement benefits are based on a formula involving dollars contributed and the age in which benefits are started. In 2020, the maximum CPP pension benefit was $1,175.83 per month, assuming that they start at CPP or start at age 65. The benefits can be drawn early with permanent reductions to their monthly payout, so this needs to be taken in consideration. Old age security benefits, or OAS, max out at $613.53 in 2020 and start at the age of 65. This benefit can be clawed back or reduced by 15% for each dollar earned beyond the annual maximum of $79,054. So we need to pay attention to clients' income. Each benefit is so individual, we recommend connecting with myservicescanada.ca or go to your Service Canada branch to find out what specifically applies to your situation. Insurance can be a significant source of financial support, and when a person becomes disabled due to illness, there are various types of coverage. although they generally need to have been in place for a period of time prior to the insured person becoming ill or disabled. If your parent has an individual insurance plan, we can give you direct assistance in determining what the coverage is and how to go about making a claim on their parent's behalf. If it is a group policy through an employer or organization, then you need to contact the plan administrator to determine what benefits may be available. There are 3 types of coverage typically provided through private or group insurers. The first is critical illness insurance. It's designed to pay a lump sum to the beneficiary if the insured incurs one of a specific list of afflictions. Although some policies are more comprehensive, most policies will pay benefits for cancer, bypass surgery, heart attack, or stroke. The benefits are tax-free and normally will be paid if the patient survives 30 days after diagnosis, and the money can be used for anything that you want. Secondly is a disability policy. This is designed to replace your income due to accident or sickness. If your parent is retired, they probably won't have a disability insurance plan. However, if they are still employed, they may be able to receive disability benefits. There are many disability benefit policies, and the definition of what constitutes a disability will vary, as will the amount and duration of the benefits. And third, long-term care insurance. It's when someone cannot take care of themselves and either requires in-home or institutional care. Although policy terms vary widely, a common feature is that benefits will be paid when the insured is unable to perform 2 of what we define as the activities of daily living, including eating, bathing, and dressing, and so on. The benefit will typically be paid monthly, and the amount received can vary from anywhere between $500 to up to as much as $10,000 a month. There are indemnity policies that pay benefits directly based on the cost incurred. Other policies will pay a set amount with no restrictions on a monthly basis. I can help you evaluate the need for these coverages, and of course, I can assist when time comes to make a claim. So if your parent has become ill, there can be several tax issues that come into play depending on the nature of their illness, their age, and the role that the family members are playing. We recommend dealing with an accounting professional to sort out what is the best way to maximize tax deductions and meet all legal obligations. Some income streams, such as OAS, are impacted by taxable income earned in any given year, and it is important to make sure decisions on investments are harmonized with the overall tax situation. By partnering with your accountant and financial planner together to assist you in the needs for tax preparation and management of your investments, you can optimize your cash flow. So before we close, I want to go over some very important documents, whether your parents are ailing now or maybe in the future. The first is the power of attorney, of which there are usually 2. One covers decisions regarding property and the other for personal care. The power of attorney is a legal document that gives someone the right to act in another's place. They usually are structured in such a way that the person holding the power of attorney only has specific rights or powers. A power of attorney should be prepared by a lawyer, but we can help to convey the necessary information needed. One or more individual can be named as the attorney. So you can name your son, your daughter, both to act together or separately. The power of attorney for personal care takes effect when the competent healthcare provider decides that the individual is no longer able to make their own decisions. But as in all legal situations, it is important to seek advice from a lawyer. So a power of attorney for property covers anything to do with financial matters, such as bank accounts, credit card bills, and investments, as well as any item of property, such as the sale of a house or paying off a mortgage. This is a continuing power of attorney for property and should not be confused with a non-continuing variety. A continuing power of attorney is designated or is designed to remain in place when a person is declared mentally incapacitated, while the non-continuing type is for people of sound mind who are maybe away out of the country or otherwise unable to sign urgent, timely paperwork. The latter becomes invalid if the person becomes mentally incapacitated. A special note is that all powers of attorney become void at death, and then the will takes over. So the second type of power of attorney is also known as a representation agreement in British Columbia. It's also known as a living will, although the terms should not be used interchangeably. A representation agreement gives the designated person the power to make decisions regarding the medical treatment of the person when they are unable. Some of the issues that can be addressed by the attorney are hospice care, change of physician, use of experimental treatments, nutrition, and the use of heroic measures to prolong life. It's important that we have these things written down and you discuss these issues with your loved one or who you're assigning a representation agreement to, so that your wishes are carried out if you're not able to speak for yourself. So powers of attorney ensure someone's affairs will be managed while they are alive. A will takes care of things after someone dies. It ensures your mother or father's assets will be passed on in the way that they want after they die. Of course, your priority now is to look after your ailing parent and hopefully see them return to health. But the fact is, everyone will need a will, regardless of their health. A well-structured will prevents unwanted complications and misunderstandings when the estate is settled. In many cases, an elderly person's will is out of date and no longer reflects their current wishes due to changed circumstances. To achieve this, there needs to be a frank and open discussion among all interested parties. A good way to start is to sit down with your parent and create a personal record keeper. This will identify important information that can be shared with other family members and, of course, with the will's executor. A personal record keeper includes details of bank accounts, investments, real estate, pensions, loans, and credit cards, and contact information for their professional advisors. It will also specify location of the will and other important documents. Even a well-structured and inclusive will can face legal challenges, so be sure to hire a competent lawyer or notary to assist in creating and amending a will. This is particularly important with large estates. So I'm not a legal expert, but I can refer you to a lawyer specializing in estate planning if you need it, and I can assist in preparing the information the lawyer will need to draft the will that meets your parents' needs. So if someone dies without having a will, they're considered to have died intestate. This means the disposition of assets is done according to provincial law. The court appoints an administrator in the place of an executor, who is usually a family member, such as a spouse or an adult child, or if more appropriate, it could be given the job to a trust company. The executor creates a table of what we call consanguinity, which is bloodlines. This maps the relationships between family members and determines what relation receives how much from the estate. Generally, the succession moves down to descendants and then up to ascendants, which are parents and grandparents. A spouse is likely to receive a special treatment and receives what is called a preferential share. In this case, the spouse will receive the first amount, sometimes the first $200,000. A distributive share goes to the remaining beneficiaries after the preferential share has been satisfied. Depending on the province, remaining assets are distributed in one of two ways. In most provinces, it is done on a per stirpes basis. Per stirpes means by blood, which gives an additional amount to the spouse and the remainder to the children or those other heirs in the order of descendancy. Some provinces use a per capita method, which divides the remaining assets equally between all direct living descendants. You have to remember that fees are charged on these services and the amount is paid before any assets are distributed to any of the beneficiaries. Wills can always be challenged by disgruntled parties, which will result in legal costs to both sides and can delay settlement of the estate. So it is important to draft a will that makes challenge unlikely. the first thing to do is to obtain consensus from potential beneficiaries so that everyone understands your parents' intentions. Well, this cannot prevent a challenge. It should reduce the chances of it. Oh, I skipped ahead one. Sorry. First blip, we're almost done. That's not too bad. So have the will drafted by a qualified lawyer. Sometimes a do-it-yourself will kit can be adequate, but if you know what normally happens is you set it on your desk by your computer to fill it out, and then it just stays there. That's not good. Getting it done is important. But if there's anything at all complicated about the situation, it should be done by a qualified lawyer. You may need to provide proof of mental capacity. A common basis for challenging a will of an elderly person is doubt that it was drafted when they were of sound mind. While lawyers who help draft their will can make careful notes about how they perceive your parents' mental capacity, it is best to ask a physician to provide a written statement to this effect. You can protect against claims of undue influence, such as a suspicion that one child pressured their parent to change a will in their favor at a vulnerable time. Proof of mental capacity and other evidence will help you prevent this. Another issue is gifts made by your parents to their children or others during their lifetime. It is not unusual for people to make inter vivos gifts while they're living as part of an early inheritance, but make sure you document these gifts so that everyone knows what's happened. So in summary, there's a lot to think about. If you are dealing with an ailing parent or have an aging parent who eventually will need care, planning is crucial, whether your parent has already become ill or is just simply aging, as we all do. There are many options to consider with respect to accommodations and care, and those options mean varying costs. Do your parents have adequate funding to pay for their own care? How will their care impact your financial situation and plans? There may be tax impacts to some of the care offered to parents. And last but not least, everyone should have a power of attorney and a will. We are here to help in any way we can. So here's a little snapshot. We're getting at the end. This is our team. So I'm just going to introduce everybody who works at VantageOne Financial, and you'll recognize some of us in the picture here. So we have 4 mutual fund and life license advisors: Colin Karpowicz, who did a wonderful introduction, Mike Sutherland, Terry Robertson, and myself, Todd Benson. All of us have earned a certified financial planning designation to help you make sense of government programs, tax policies, investments, and insurance options, and find insights and strategies to help guide you forward. We are backed up by a talented and caring team of administrative professionals to help us increase your financial ability with a human touch. So I want to thank everybody so much for their time today. I hope that you found this presentation informative and that we've given you some insights and information that will help you ask the right questions when you're dealing with, for yourself, for care as you get older, or if you're dealing with an aging parent. We are at your service and welcome the opportunity to discuss these strategies and how to apply them to you and your family. Like we say, it all starts with a discussion. So with that, I think we're done. We're at 2:29 on my clock, which is just about perfect. Don't know if we have any questions. I'm not in charge of that sidebar, but I think we'll move on. Anything closing there, Colin?
I don't see anything at this point. But thank you very much, Todd. It's a very valuable topic right now. I'm sure that with the participants we have online today, that there are some who are right in the thick of things right now, some who are anticipating some of these upcoming changes with themselves or with their adult parents, and certainly with this what we call the sandwich generation. it's important to know what are the resources that we have, what considerations do we need to think about now, how can we be best prepared for the future. So I want to thank all of the participants today. We appreciate your participation. And if you do have any questions, please forward them to the VantageOne Financial email address that you received, and we'd be happy to get back to you. Thank you again, Todd, and to everyone, have a great day.
All right, thank you.